welcome to
Unfiltered Kitchen.
I don't know why I always freeze. We have special guest today, my oldest.
Hi, it's R.
The little one's on the run, so
Always on the run.
I was going to try to swing this by myself, but I think I just said, let me just call my kid, make it easy. Yeah. So here we are. We're on like episode number.
You guys have been going.
Like 16.
I'm proud of y'all.
Yeah, I'm having fun. We have fun. We have a good time.
It's every now and then I'll get like a text from one of my friends who are like, oh my God, your dad really is just like committed to this podcast life. And
well, I saw you guys doing yours and I just said, it looks like fun. I want to do it too. So
it is fun.
We'll see what happens. I still got to. Yeah, we did one the other day. I was really kind of low energy. It was the first time I felt. I personally felt the last episode for me wasn't very good.
What was the topic of conversation?
Well, see, that's part of the deal. I wasn't really into it.
What was it?
It was we were reading a couple different things from people, and my attention span wasn't there. Because I can't even tell you what we talked about. Okay, and I mean that's kind of bad. I kind of let Chey carry it, but that's the first time I felt low energy.
Okay. Well, do you want to dive into some of these questions that you guys have received, or is there something else that you would like to cover today? Or
let's cover.
Have a little check-in. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Your hair looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of when you were young and grew your hair.
Yes, this is me pre-baldy. Yeah, this was me. Do you know how old am I now? I'm 34.
Okay.
It was 13 years ago that I shaved my head.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's about time to let it grow back.
Yeah. So I'm letting my hair grow. And I've been on this like braid journey, but my hair right now is still like fairly short. Mm-hmm. And although the braiders that I've gone to have done a really good job of like tucking my hair, it just doesn't last as long as I would like for it to last.
I thought your hair looked good in the braids, though.
I loved the braids.
Yeah.
When my hair gets longer, I'll be back in the braids.
Okay.
I'm just doing this because I don't want to wet my hair. I don't want to get like scissor happy.
Okay. All right.
I've been feeling really good lately, and then when I feel good, that's when I tend to like shave my head.
So your little guy is getting ready to be 5 years old.
Yes, my oldest is gonna be 5.
Yeah, time flies, doesn't it?
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it's very surreal.
5-year-old.
Yeah, it's a 5 and a 2-year-old now. Yeah, boss is gonna be 5. Very, very, very excited.
3 days
on Friday.
Friday. Okay.
December 8th.
All right, let's go. Let's go, Bozzy.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, he's a good kid too.
He is.
I dig Boz.
I enjoy him. He makes me happy.
He doesn't cry with me anymore. He doesn't even try it.
He's been really good lately, and then like when he has moments where he gets frustrated, he's been like using his breathing tech. We got different breathing techniques. And the other day he was like, "Hey mom, I had like a hard moment," but he was like, "I didn't cry." Yeah. He was really proud that he didn't cry. Yeah. He was like, "I wanted to, I almost did, but like I didn't do it." Yeah.
All right, let's jump in. Let's see what we got.
Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, do you want to go or?
No, you go.
Okay, so I have a question for Papa Floyd.
So this is actually a question that got asked a couple weeks back.
Yes.
And we're just circling back to it, getting to it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I have a question for Papa Floyd. I am legally married, but separated for about 2 years. The relationship was bad. No communication, DV, a little domesticated violence, and verbally abuse. We were both young when we decided to get married. After 2 years, officially separated, not speaking to each other, my estranged husband called me and said he wanted to talk. We met up, talked, and things led to one another, and we hooked up twice.
Okay.
Fast forward, he called yesterday and asked to give him another chance. What should I do? My heart is not in this relationship anymore, but there is a small thought that I should try again.
So no kids. She didn't mention any kids.
She did not mention any kids, but I want to say, sis, you answered your own question.
What about?
My heart is not in this relationship anymore.
Yeah, but you know what? At one time, her heart was. Something went sideways. It got some domestic violence. It got some verbal abuse.
Yeah.
You know, and that's enough to.
That's a lot.
That's enough to break your heart.
Yeah,
you know, seeing
it
in
is.
another direction. But it's been 2 years. He could have learned something. He should have learned something.
I pray he learned something.
She should have learned something also. You know, she should. In those 2 years, I hope that she's not just separated, sitting at home. I hope that she's been out dating.
Yeah, as someone who has had experience with a DV relationship, I don't think 2 years is enough time for someone to, unless they're like actively in therapy. No. But it's like you have 2 years of like not communicating. So it's like, I want to know what you've been doing in this time. I want to know what you've been doing to like mature yourself or better your self-thought. Have you been doing things to navigate, you know, why you're verbally abusive or how to change these things in your life?
Okay,
you know?
So what you're saying is you want to be involved in the person's recovery.
I do not want to be involved in the person's recovery.
Then let's not worry about all those questions you have. Let's see where he is ultimately. Where is he now?
Where are you now? What have you done to get to where you are now?
Doesn't matter. I mean, you know, to me, as long as he's made that adjustment.
Yeah,
you know, as long as the end game, he is a better person. And I would say if they got together and they did talk, well, see, I'm backing up a little bit because I'm understanding, I'm under the impression that one time they were in love. They did get married. Something went sideways, but there was,
I don't know if there was. She doesn't say we were in love. She says the relationship was bad.
No,
I am legally married, but separated for about 2 years. The relationship was bad.
Prior to them getting married, the relationship was beautiful.
There was, yes.
That's why they got married.
Yes.
Something went sideways once they got married. Maybe it was the pressure of being young and dumb and married.
Yes.
Okay. 2 years, it's good time for a person to mature. They could have gotten better. You different in opinion. You think it takes longer and you need to have.
No, it's not that I think it takes longer. It's just what have you done to
Okay. So what would you
grow?
Okay. I'll tell her what I think, and then you tell her what you think. I think, yes, you should. You're saying you got together, you talked. Obviously, the conversation was together because you guys are going to do the boom, boom, boom. And hopefully you're still talking. The only way you can really tell if a person has changed is to spend time with them. Mm-hmm. Okay? And again, I'm backing all the way up. I'm saying, look, at one time you were flipping over this guy, you know, in love, ready to get married or got married. Okay? And again, when you're young, and you guys have admittedly said that you were young, sometimes there's pressures, you know, pressure of being married, pressure of being, you know, good husband, good wife. You know, now you got financial responsibilities, you got career, you still got to grow. You know, even thought of children, whether they're there or not, is always a question. Balancing the in-laws and both sides of the family. There's a whole lot going on initially. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe he's got his feet more firm on the ground now. Maybe it was a little scary and shook him up at first. Maybe it was her. I mean, I don't know. She just said it was bad. She didn't say he was bad. It was bad. Mm-hmm. I would hope that they were both grown over the time. But I would say, yes, definitely take a shot. Now, if it doesn't work, okay, you took a shot. You did what you can do. Now, I know you said your heart's not into it. You'll be able to tell real quick if you decide to take a shot and you're just not feeling it, you know. And then you just have to be honest with him, along with being honest with yourself, and then say, hey, look, there was a time I loved you, but I'm not feeling it. Yeah.
I just think if you do proceed forward and put yourself out there again, I would consider doing like couples therapy, knowing that your past has been rocky and that you guys have had this estranged period. I don't think you just jump right back in bed with the person and be like, oh, here we're in this relationship now, or like, you know, we're married again. But it's almost like you have to date your estranged husband in a way to, you know, you got to spend that time to even see.
I would agree with you. If they do decide to get back together, I would definitely do some type of counseling.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
That's mandatory. I would say.
I'm assuming that something is going on to do the change. You know, that it's not just putting best foot forward, and you know, in another 2 weeks he's going to be back to the okie doke, whatever's going on.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know, sometimes people
people do grow.
Sometimes people make big mistakes and realize their mistake.
Yeah, you're not tapping the table, but you're shaking that ice. Okay. I got to be mindful because sometimes I like to touch and move things. But I pray that in whatever you decide to do, that your feelings, you know, you are able to be protected, and that he is protected as well, because, you know, marriages do go both ways. And like we said, we don't know the full story. And
So I suggest to everybody to start using the Speak Pipe link, because you can verbalize and you can tell your whole story.
Yeah, you can go into more detail.
Yes, as opposed to texting. I mean, I hate to text and type. You know, with the Speak Pipe, you can get in there and ramble. Well, hopefully you're not rambling. But, you know. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
Okay, so this person asked to be...
I'm going to back up just one more time. Any of you young people that are thinking about getting married, don't do it yet. Just, you know, work on your career, work on your relationship, work on yourself. Let him work on himself or herself. Just wait it out. Wait it out for a minute until you have career or educate something. I mean, if you're madly in love, work on the other things that go along with the relationship of marriage. Okay.
I feel like life is so short. So it's like, at this point, if you think there's something there, go for it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, but see, you're when you say that, that's like, okay, we can give it a shot, but if it doesn't work, go ahead and do a divorce.
Oh, I wasn't speaking on that previous question. I was just saying in general.
In general, okay. Yeah. Yes, yeah. Life is short.
Life is short, you know?
If you find something that's good, have a good time with it.
Yeah. Did you guys do this? How do you prevent yourself from feeling guilt about forcing your loved one to sink or swim?
No.
Okay.
We didn't do that.
I'm going to keep going.
Forcing your loved one to sink or swim.
So this person gives a background story. I grew up very poor and knew from a young age that I did not want to live that life. So I went to college and worked my way up in corporate America. I live a comfortable life and have tried to lead by example for my younger loved ones, but they don't seem to have the same drive I did. I have given countless lectures, minimized their consequences by bailing them out financially, and at one point had people living with me. In therapy, I have learned that I need to just let them suffer their consequences because me bailing them out hasn't helped. I have done this but felt immense guilt to the point where I could not sleep. Any tips, tricks you have for minimizing that guilt?
You're guilty about doing the right thing?
I don't think she's guilty about doing the right thing. I think she's guilty about sometimes you have to release and let people fall a little bit so that they learn how to like pick themselves up. I think this is how you would, your version of tough love, or, you know, and it's not.
Well, sometimes people have to learn their responsibility.
You got to learn how to do it. And I think it's, I feel like maybe sounding from what she is saying, it's almost like she doesn't want to just enable or just be that, you know.
Well, okay. First of all, you know, brilliant job that you've done going from poor to the lecture circuit. I mean, you know, you've done your thing. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody doesn't perform at the same level.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So those younger ones, those are the ones that you've kind of left behind, that you've dusted, you know, sometimes that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't expect them to perform the way you've performed. You've performed on a high level. You've you know, thrown it into first all the way through fifth gear.
Yeah, if you're able to be blessed and bless others around you, especially in your family.
Yeah.
I pray that you find the blessing in that.
Well, you know, sometimes people
it's a heavy burden. It's a lot of responsibility, and you don't always get the credit or the acknowledgement. It's not reciprocated. So it's one of those things where it's like it's literally hard to be in, you know, a good position sometimes because that's that's just what it is.
Yeah, grats to you because you've done the deal.
Yeah.
Everybody can't perform like you, though. So you have an option. You can go ahead and let them ride your coattail. You can help them as much as you can,
And
as much as you're comfortable.
Riding the coattail.
I don't know if it's necessarily enabling them. You might be putting them in a better position, by helping them, because some people cannot help themselves as well as others. You obviously are aggressive in terms of, bettering your life, bettering your situation. Some people, because of either mentality or they get lost in the marketing of America, they settle in on a spot. Yeah. And, some people even get blocked to think that they can't get out of that spot.
So she said she keeps bailing them out and it hasn't helped. And this has now made her feel immense guilt to the point where she could not sleep. So I think it's also case by case. And in some situations...
How do you interpret that when she says she's bailed them out?
I feel like she's extended herself multiple times, and it almost, if I'm reading in between the lines, I don't know if there's a pattern. I don't know if it's something that they are consistently doing, because it's gotten you to the point of where you're now losing sleep. This is a conversation you're having in therapy. This is really weighing on this person. So it sounds like it's someone who they care about dearly.
Yeah.
And they just keep, they're not able to just get over that hurdle. So,
you can't help all the people all the time.
Yeah, I think I really hate that this is my tip or trick, but it's sometimes I literally have to tell myself there are always going to be casualties of war. And that's going to sound really insensitive right now.
No, I understand what you mean, but go ahead and say what you mean.
What I'm trying to say is, like you said, not everyone's going to be able to perform or do the same as everyone else. And sometimes there are others who need a little extra help, and there are those who are able to extend a little bit more blessing. I feel like...
I'll tell you a story. There have been people in my life that have gotten lost. Myself, other people in the neighborhood have tried to help those that have gotten lost. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. Yeah. So, in terms of losing sleep.
It depends on what it is.
See, I think that's kind of a woman's emotion. I hate to be a feminist. I hate to go down this alley.
Be a feminist? What was feminist about that?
Okay, well, maybe I'm using the wrong word.
That was wild.
But I wouldn't lose a nickel of sleep of anybody that I tried to help and it just didn't work out. I'd go to bed still saying, well, I tried. And not tried casually, but I gave it an effort. But it's not up to me to regulate or to run their life. Yeah. I'm not responsible for someone else's life. I'm not responsible for your life. Mm-hmm. I can do the best I can do to help you, any other person. But it ultimately is up to that person to be responsible for their life. Yeah. So I give what I can give comfortably. And after that, I don't give anymore. It's I'm done.
I've also had to learn how to accept people or have a better acceptance for people for who they are versus who or what I want them to be.
Yes.
I think that is, rather than me saying there's always casualties of war, I think this is what I'm trying to say in terms of there's people that you may want better for, but they just might have a different set of cards,
and it might be their definition of better is different.
Yeah.
I always think about me and my brother. So my brother is carefree. He doesn't care. Him and his daughter. That's it. That's all he cares about. He don't care about making big money. He don't care about dressing real fancy. He don't care about the car he drives. And some would look at that there's a lack of motivation. Well, it's not that. It's just that,
he likes what he likes.
He likes what he likes. And he, just because my idea of, life is a little different, maybe I'm a little bit more fancy. I want to go on vacation. I want to see places. I want to, drive a fly car or whatever the case may be. Just because he's not in that same mode doesn't make him wrong because he's not following my standard of what it should be. And I thought about this years ago. And I also got to the point where I almost envy him, because while I'm still sweating the rat race, trying to make $1, boom, 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 chasing a little bit of ends and all that. He's sitting back like, I ain't worried.
I'll take the experiences. There's no envy there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's different. Sometimes it's different strokes for different folks.
It's a different level of stress. Like, it's like when I feel like when we travel and we see it's this super hustle bustle here and you go other places and it's like, yeah, the lifestyle is completely different, but it's also a little bit more stress free in some capacities because you may not have this strict schedule to adhere to. Yeah. You have more flexibility in your time, or you may be able to spend more time with your friends and family, or it's different. Yeah. But girl, I pray you don't stop. I pray you stop losing sleep over this situation. And I know that I get a sense that you really do care and you try and you want others, especially those around you, to swim versus sink. But sometimes you got to let people sink so that they can learn how to swim, because if you keep bailing them out, they're just going to keep floating on that raft versus learning how to start to tread water. And then, from there you can doggy paddle and then you start swimming. Like you have to let people also fail, and hit their rock bottom sometimes so that they can't keep failing, it's they'll have to eventually make that decision to pull themselves up. Yeah.
I'd say go to the, you can't just go to any liquor store. You have to go to a nice liquor store. Get a bottle of La Familia Flores, Reserva Suprema. Have a nice glass of that. You'll sleep well.
Neat or chilled?
Chill it.
My nose is itching.
Yeah. All right. Good luck with it. But, look, you're doing the right thing. You've overcome. You try to help. But you can't help. Sometimes you can't save the world.
Okay. Here's another one. Hey, Chey and Papa Floyd. I hope you are both doing well. I left a comment about my husband and I being together since 2011 and got married in 2016 when we turned 18 and just had our first baby last year. Just wanted to know.
Wait a minute. Help me understand that.
Okay, so they've been together since 2011. They got married in 2016.
So
when they turned
later,
18.
So they were 13 when they met?
They were
dating
11. Wait, hold on. No, what is this? 5 years, 13. You're right.
So
sorry.
Dating at 13.
2011
got married at 18.
Yes, and then had a baby last year. So like 23.
In 22.
What year are we in? 2023. Oh yeah, 22.
So they waited like 4 years to have a baby.
Yeah.
Okay, that was smart.
Or 6 years.
No, 4 years.
2016 to 2022.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 6 years. Oh, that's even smarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say y'all really like each other and patient.
No.
What? 2016 to 2020 is 4 years plus 2 more years is 6.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Anyways, back to this question.
So that's young love.
That sounds like,
and I'm okay with that so far because they did wait. They didn't just start popping out kids.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do we go from here?
Okay. Just wanted to know if you guys have any advice on buying your first home. We're looking to buy our first home next year. Depending on finances, we might wait until 2025, but just wanted to get as much advice beforehand. Thanks in advance.
So first of all, I'd like to say this because I always kind of rank on, falling in love, getting married too soon. But they've actually been together since they were 13, hanging out with you, and now they're 20.
It's been over 10 years.
And I haven't heard anything about kids. No.
Oh my God, bro. We just did the math for the baby.
Yeah. Okay. So they waited a while for kids, and now they are seeking their first home, which is a nice move. Great move.
Yeah. I'm rooting for this couple right here.
Yeah. So here's the advice for your first home.
Something with multiple units, if you can.
And or.
Like a duplex, triplex.
First of all, your first home, the first property you buy, should be an income property, not a place you're going to live. Okay? So you go to whatever side of town you want to go to, and you buy whatever you can afford. It doesn't have to be in the best neighborhood. It doesn't have to be in the worst neighborhood. Doesn't matter. Just buy something. Go talk to a broker. Tell them you want it to be an income property. You're not trying to buy something for you to live in. Wherever you're living, continue to live there. Take that income property and let it sit. Because you said, I'd like to do it now, but I might wait 2 years, something like that. Did you say something like that? Wait. Let the equity in that income property grow. Okay? Now, when I say income property, that means whatever your mortgage is, weigh that, your mortgage, your taxes, your principal, interest, weigh that against what your rent income is and make sure that you're making some money. $200, $400, $600, whatever it is. Okay? Let the equity in the place grow for another year or two. Two would be nice. Okay? So now when you go to buy your first property, and again, when you buy this first property, this is not your end-all property. This is not your dream property. This is a property you and your husband, your kids can all have room. You have a backyard, have a little flexibility, have ownership of home, but it's not the prize home. Okay, the prize home is going to take a little while. But now what you have is you have some equity that you can pull from your...
Hi.
You just had to get that in, honey. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Because you can. Yeah. It's your birthday week.
My name's Buzz.
What's your whole name?
Buzz Wiggly.
Okay, all right. Okay, so first property is an income property that you're getting positive cash flow from. Now, when you go to buy your second house in a couple of years, you will not only have equity from the first house that you can pull out to help you with your deposit for your new place, but you also have income from your income property to help towards your note. Okay? So here's another thing. You have to get yourself involved in a first-time home buyer program. Okay? First-time home buyer program, often you can take a class, and now instead of paying the 7.5% interest rate and the sometimes 20% down, now they're going to let you put 2% down and a reduced interest rate. You're not talking about 7.5%. You're talking maybe somewhere 3-4%. Because again, it's a first-time home buyer program. So that's kind of the advice. Okay, I'm actually I'm rooting for that couple too. Got together really young, hung in there. If it was my kids though, I think I would tell them. Well, they were already married, so it's too late now. So let's forget it. Okay, here we go. How do you deal with parents who can't communicate or shut down every time you try to bring up a deeper issue? Bring a conversation about a deeper issue. Is this generational? Regardless if it's, let's say, and yes, it probably is generational. You understand? So I don't know how the parents are out there. My age. But see, I'm a different breed because I speak on mine. There's a lot of people I know that don't speak. And it's actually the generation before me, my mom's generation. She tells me all the time that they were taught to sit back and be quiet. Now, she didn't really follow that philosophy. And I don't know if it was that her mom and dad encouraged her to speak. I think it would have been her dad, if anything. Because her mom was a little bit submissive, my grandmother. Or it was just her personality where she was just going to speak her mind, and be forward with her thoughts. But most people in that generation, they were taught to sit back and be quiet. Don't ask questions. Don't cause any ripples in the water. Don't bring any attention to yourself, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Which is also lacking conversation, lacking communication, because you're just sitting back and accepting. What I'm doing is this one right here, Kyle. Young lady would like to know if there's any advice in dealing with parents that are shut down when you try to have a communication about deeper issues with them. And it might be that. But here's the deal.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one, but here's the deal. If you have a relationship with your parents, you might have to be the one that is more aggressive in terms of opening up the dialogue. Okay.
Because just how our parents teach us, there comes to a point in time where the child then, teaches the parent. And I think that's one thing that I enjoy about my relationship with my parents. It's like those moments take work. They're not always fun. They can be very uncomfortable. But it's like,
But it's a doable deal.
it is doable. And it's like when you decide to put that work into it, you may not get the results or the satisfaction you want, instantly, but it's keep going at it. It will, I think with time, it will progress and it change. Yeah. Because when you bring it up, and then you have to allow the person to even start to understand or recognize what you're saying. And then they go through this, they fill it out for themselves. And then hopefully, with I think more prayer and conversation, there gets to a point where it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe my answer was a solid no before, but let me even be open to a conversation now. So it takes time. Does take time.
Here's something that I share with a lot of people. If you have a question, concern, you want to have a conversation with somebody and the conversation it's a difficult conversation, put it in the letter. Actually write a letter. Go, a letter. You guys know what a letter is, right? Okay. I mean, I know people don't do that anymore. But when you write a letter,
I love a handwritten letter.
Then you can ask. Here's what's nice about a letter too. You can write it. You can cross that out and rewrite it until you've actually asked what you want to ask, the way you want to ask it in a nice, polite, manner. The person that's reading it can read it. They don't get caught on the spot. They don't have to come up with something right now. They could ignore it for a week if they want to, and then come back and read it. And eventually they can come, you can always come back to them and say, hey, Dad, hey, did you read that letter? I had a couple questions. And you can just tell them real simple. Here, I want to put in a letter form for you because I don't want to catch you off guard, and I want you to be able to think about it. But I'd like to talk about this if we can. Give it a shot. I really think the art of writing letters is gone. But I always tell people if you're having a difficult conversation, put it in letter form.
Yeah. Did you see that this was a 2-part?
Yeah.
About the deeper issues, and is this a generational thing? Yeah, right. Definitely it's generational. Yeah. This silent generation.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Transitioning from college to adult life. Any advice?
That one actually is probably best for
Cheyenne or someone else, because I didn't do college in the traditional sense.
And for me to remember back that far, let me see, back in the 1800s when I finished college. Yeah.
That was actually.
Well, here,
that was funny.
I was doing.
Cheyenne's calling me.
I was doing my thing. I mean, I went straight from college to being never mind. We're not going to go down that street. Let's do this one right here. But here's the deal. In the short, make that transition smooth. Go from college to career. Okay. College where you learn stuff.
Yeah.
Career where you're making money.
How? Do you know that's the biggest issue is how to get a job at this point for college students?
What? We'll do it again, but I'll wait till Chey. Just because I want to get her.
Cheyenne, or we need to find some college students right now or people who have recently made that transition because it's...
Okay, well, let's do this. Read the question.
This needs to be the speak pipe. Hey, to our listeners that are transitioning or have recently transitioned from college to adult life or adulting, can you please share any advice, tips, hacks? Hey, I wish I would have known. Moments to help better prepare your peers in the same position.
Okay, so I'm going to say one thing about the comment that you made, how hard it is to get a job right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not that it's hard to get a job.
That's right.
It is hard to find a job that actually can support rent and food and anything on top of that. That's part of like the whole generational like issue is that you can get a job, but the cost of living versus the wages, it's the cost of living has gone up and the wages aren't satisfying them. Yeah, aren't keeping pace. So it's like, yeah, it's a whole other conversation.
Okay. You go.
Yeah. Healthy co-parenting. I know you guys get this a lot, but I love the way your family does it. Healthy co-parenting, it's a never-ending journey of whatever co-parenting looks like for you. You've got your good days, you've got your bad days. You may be in a good place one day, and Monday you may not be in a good place. But
it's all about compromise.
And each day is a new day. Like, I think that's the thing for me is like, I know I have moments where I may get stressed out or frustrated with my parenting partner. I don't even know what to call this person anymore. My children's father.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
There's moments where like there's days where I'm just like, well, fuck you, and it's like, well, fuck you too. Not literally, but like that's just like the energy of my frustration. And then there's days where it's like, hey, or the next day I don't try and let what happens like one day affect the next day. Like I try and take each day as a new, pursuit of happiness in this co-parenting journey. So do your best to release energy, I think, if you've got negative energy or hard, funky energy, and just be grateful for those, the good moments and the blessings, and just, make it all about the kids. You got to learn how to take your emotion out of it and keep it on the kids. Okay, here is one more question for today's episode. So, I'm struggling with my mother-in-law. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Like, does this make sound?
Oh, come on, no. Come on. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Okay, I'm struggling with my mother-in-law. My husband struggles setting boundaries, so I had to. Sounds scary.
Okay.
Or he really loves his mom. Okay. Otherwise, she would call us 10 times a day and visit every weekend. I want to say, is she calling him 10 times a day or calling you sis? No, anyways. It's gotten better since I expressed my frustration with my mother-in-law, but now my daughter has soccer games every weekend, and because she lives 2 hours away, she comes to every game, then automatically comes over after. I work full-time and have 2 kids.
Okay. Well, we're going to have you keep reading, but just thus far, it's all...
Sounds like the mother-in-law is just involved and wants to come support her grandchild.
And if she drives 2 hours to come support the grandchild, what do you want to do? Just jump in the car after the 45-minute game and then turn right back around and drive another 2 hours? She can't come and hang out with her granddaughter, her daughter-in-law, and her son?
I think I would be very happy to have that family.
Do you know how many people cry on here, complain?
Okay, let's see. Let's finish reading. Maybe the mother-in-law is rude. We don't know the full story.
All right. It better not be that the mother-in-law.
But at the same time, we like a supportive mother-in-law. So,
hey, here, let me share. I saw this. I heard this.
Yes.
The only real true parent hack.
Yeah.
Is to live close to the grandparents. Yeah. And then bonus is if the auntie lives close by too.
Yeah, Chey moved away. That sucks.
Well, it's still close enough though. You can still come. You can still come bring your kids and you know, like, Chey, I need you to watch kids. I'm out tonight. I got things to do.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah. So I just thought that was nice. And that was kind of like our family too. I mean, that's a true parent hack.
Oh no, that is a true parent hack. Like even right now, I'm in the process of moving, and boss keeps saying, "Mom, I'm sad. I don't want to move. I'm gonna miss grandma." And all I'm thinking is, "Boy, we moving? Because when we move, you can really come over to grandma's house and have a sleepover and spend the night. Like that'll be a real grandma night, you know? Yeah. Okay. No, it's a blessing. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so grandma's coming to soccer games, and then after she comes after. Yeah. So this is mom. I work full time and have 2 kids. My weekends are my only time to enjoy with my little family, so I'm protective over our time. That's understandable.
No, that's not true though. I mean, I hear what she's saying, but
I think that's like her downtime. Yeah.
but she said my only time to kind of kick it with the kids. Well, Monday through Sunday, every day you get to kick it with the kids.
Yeah, I kick it with my kids Monday through Friday, and I'm like, we want to like, I'm like, but during the weekend, it's a completely different energy where it's like, oh, let's go have fun. Let's like do things together.
Right. Okay, I got it. So Monday through Friday is more routine. We got to keep everything in routine.
School.
Let's get dressed. Let's get to bed. Let's get clean. Let's do breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's working. Okay.
It's like, let me keep you alive and keep my head on. And then it's like, oh, let's actually be still and enjoy each other.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Okay.
There's a difference.
Okay, I understand. I got you.
So to continue.
Yes.
I'm tired of every weekend figuring out how to get her to leave after the games. She doesn't ask. She just comes and ends up here. I've told her before this creates conflict between my husband and I. And while she has stepped back a bit, she squeezes out every chance she can to just end up here for long periods of time. She'll just say, oh, I'm going to sleep over. And it sucks because, like I said, weekend nights are for me and my man. We love to put the kids down, have some wine, and have some us time. Okay. And when she's here, she's chill. Okay. With us. Oh, so she chills with us. Like, what are we doing now that the kids are asleep? Basically, mom's like, Grandma, it's time to go. My children are asleep. I haven't been with my man all weekend or all week. I want my man. I feel you. I got it. Okay. Better understanding. Okay. So I could rant about this forever, but you get the gist. Any tips? Am I being mean? I think that because she's so overstepping, it has created resentment and it's harder and harder to be nice when she's around. So lately I resort to going to run errands or hanging with the baby while she hangs out with my husband. That's her fave. I know it. And I know that's why she comes. So I let her get her fix. I know. I can't even talk. That's her fave. I know. And I know that's why she comes. So I let her get her fix. But I'm just really starting to struggle putting on a happy face.
Okay.
So it's like, this is like bittersweet where it's like, I think it is very nice. And it's like, I pray that you're able to see the silver lining in like having a mother-in-law who seems to be, present and like into her grandchildren. I think that right there is a blessing, and not every child experiences their grandchildren, and those memories, these are moments that aren't going to happen forever, so it's, while this is happening right now, I would say just do your best to just learn to appreciate them, or learn how to change up your schedule. And when I say that, if she's going to be home with the kids and you want time with your husband, maybe this is a time to have like a steady date night. That's right. You're about to get out. You're about to go have some one-on-one time with your husband. You're going to do something. And if you want to go get spicy, you can go get spicy.
And if you want to go get a room, you can go get a room.
And at the same time,
I learned to love that grandmother visit.
Yeah, I wish I had a present.
She calls me mad because I don't take the kids enough. Like, why'd you move so far? So I get her deal.
No, I do.
But I think that,
are you back?
Because we hear so many stories of grandparents not being involved or that it's almost like you have to recognize that this is a blessing. Now, I know you wanted your time, but like we were just saying, and kind of saying in jest, but being serious, date nights. You got the week. You have a babysitter.
You got a good situation, girl. You just need a little reframing.
Yeah. You just need to look at it different. You need to look at it a little bit different.
Yeah.
And look, let's reverse it. Let's say it was your mother that was coming. Mm-hmm. Okay, would you feel the same way? Okay, and you have to be honest and be careful. You don't want to put a wedge between you and your husband over the mother. I mean, that's his mother, and look, I don't know her situation. I don't know if she's widowed or unmarried, but she's doing that 2-hour drive by herself. Maybe she's lonely. Maybe she's looking for the companionship also. And there's nothing wrong with lending yourself and lending your husband to her. And I know it is a little bit inconvenient, but that is part of marriage. Marriage is compromise. Marriage is not always convenient. It is working with each other's
not just each other,
internal
the family.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's like you said, you got to learn to see the silver lining in this one.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't think you're being mean. I don't think. I think at this point it's kind of like a hair up. How do you say a hair?
Well, you mentioned that there's a baby, so I think right now it's also just the time that you're in. I feel like you just want some time with your husband and your child.
So there's a little one, a baby, and then there's one that's in soccer.
Yeah.
So there's at least two.
There's two.
Girl, let her come and be the grandmother. Let her be the babysitter. You guys go out.
Yeah, go out.
Okay, let her spend the night and get her fix her breakfast in the morning and then shove her,
Shove her where?
I mean, not shove her, put her in her car. But no, enjoy that. And again, I'm
also, it's like at the same time, if she lives 2 hours, depending on her situation, I don't know if suggesting she move close helps you or makes it worse, but it might help get her more settled close to you, like with time. So it's like she'll come to soccer games and then she can go home, or like, if she's open to moving.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, when you guys were young, and Nana was living with us.
Yeah,
so that's my at the time my wife's mother was living with us. I always saw it as a blessing.
Yeah,
because there was one more person that could help.
Support.
Yes, whether it's
whatever it is, financially, mentally,
breakfast in the morning, or whatever the case may be.
That shared responsibility.
And I mean, I just went with the flow on it. It's like, it wasn't an ideal situation. No, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. So I didn't make any beef out of it. I turned it into a positive. So like, sure, glad to have her. As opposed to like, cutting into me and my wife's time. Yeah. You could always find time. Come on, don't act like you can't, squeeze a little time in. I know what I'm thinking about, but maybe she wasn't referring to that. Wow. Okay, I think we're gonna do it for the day, huh? I think that's a good one to end on.
My last little tip: if you know that she likes to pop up and say you want to have a day to yourself, call her before she gets on the road. Sometimes you gotta, just how you tell me, like, you gotta learn the game to play the game. If this is her MO on the weekends, you can just call her ahead of time and say, hey, I know you might be thinking of doing XYZ, but today we have plans. Or like, before you consider getting on the road, I just want you to know that I have plans for me, so-and-so and so-and-so. Like, I think it's just maybe trying to communicate a little different rather than, this is causing issues between me and my husband or all this other, stuff. Yeah. It's just, hey, we got plans today. Like,
if it's the real plan.
Yeah. If you just want some time, or just, hey, like, today we just wanted to have some downtime.
Yeah.
I don't
know if I would have gave her that.
But at the same time, let that lady come to your house.
Yes, come on.
Let that lady enjoy her grandkids. Be thankful that you have someone who cares.
And you know what?
I don't know.
Even if it's date night.
I'd be out.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you coming over?
Yeah, me and the husband, we're going to see that play we were looking at.
I've been trying to see the Hunger Games, and I have no one to watch my kids.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you don't want to burn that bridge. You want to keep that.
She can come to my house.
And look, soccer season is only so long. But I guess after that, it's going to be basketball season or water polo
Baseball,
or something. Yeah, so it's always. But you know what? It's such a blessing to have the grandmother involved.
And have family.
And again, I'm going to say this one more time. If it was your mother, would you feel the same way? Would you take the same position? I mean, maybe you would. I'd still tell you the same thing. Let your mother come over too.
I also have a question. Was she not like this before? Is this something new?
Yeah. Well,
because it's kind of like, who you're marrying, and when you get married, I think you'd have an idea of who their parents are. I'm not saying that, ma'am. I'm not saying this to you.
I wonder if she's just being so selfish with her man's time, with her man.
I mean, she just might need some attention, which is, if she just had a baby, she still might be in her postpartum phase.
There could be some things going on. Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
I say if you need some support on how to embrace that mother-in-law, reach out.
Yeah.
Because I want.
But you know what? It's nice that you have a good problem. I mean, it's a problem,
this is
but
a
it's
good problem to have. You're right.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it.
All right, guys.
That's a good way.
You know how to do all this stuff? Come on, you know how to do it from your
you guys don't end your show in any cute ways besides saying thank you for tuning in to Unfiltered Kitchen. I hope you guys tune in next week, and don't forget to comment, like, subscribe on our YouTube.
Well, we've really been
Instagram.
we've really been trying to drive the issue if people could go on to the podcast and do a review.
In other words, if you would like Papa Kyle and Cheyenne to continue doing the Unfiltered Kitchen as often and as freely as they do, please, please, please show your support by commenting, by subscribing, turning on your notifications, going on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, whatever platform that you are on. We need to see those comments because I want to keep this going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. You said that very well.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to mimic
This
you
is one of those
next
things where it's like I know like we do, Papa Kyle does his best to like really, I've been seeing this man read. He pulls out his glasses.
Oh, trying to read.
He'll go from his iPhone to let me go get my iPad. Like you guys are really bringing some life to my dad.
But and
I feel like you really enjoy this.
I do enjoy it.
So I would love to see this continue. So please go leave some reviews and comments. And
so there's before we wrap up. That was the wrap up.
Dreams come true.
Yeah. A lot of people in the last couple weeks have been talking about, please go back to the cooking cocktail.
I thought y'all were going to be cooking.
So we were trying to do that this last couple episodes, but life, what's your saying? Life on us.
Life is lifing.
Life is lifing. And Chey got caught up running back and forth. But yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, I keep waiting. Some dishes. I keep waiting for the food and the drinks because I love the conversations. But to me, I feel like food is such a stable situation in our household where it's like.
I have a great dish for you guys too.
What is it?
It's the enchilada.
Okay,
but it's an enchilada like we haven't made though.
Do you know what I've been?
See, our family, we make a really good enchilada, like an enchilada pie. Would you call it enchilada pie or casserole? Well, we generally don't roll them all up. We kind of layer things. Well, these I rolled. But it's a different kind of meat.
Oh, is this what you brought?
This is what I brought.
Different kind of meat, what kind of meat? Because I know for Thanksgiving, Cheyenne said you were looking for a rabbit or gator.
I didn't do, no. So this
might be a surprise.
This is beef. It's all beef.
Okay.
But it's a combination of chuck roast, which is a regular roast, and beef cheek, which is cabeza. In Mexico, it's cabeza. Cabeza, the head.
The head it's actually the cheek?
It's the cheek. It's the cheek. And if you guys know
Hector, cheek is very tender.
Yeah. You remember Hector what was the guy that ate people?
I don't know, the cannibal man, Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, the cheek is the most tender part of the body.
Okay.
So anyway, I have a comedy. It's a mix, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I really want you guys to get back to.
So that's why I was going to let them know.
Cooking,
we're getting back to cooking
and the drinks
and the cocktails. Matter of fact, when she gets back, I think we're going to try to do like the next 3 or 4 episodes that way.
Yeah, because I've had a few people reach out to me, like some of my friends who are like, I went to go listen and I kept waiting for the cooking to happen.
Oh, yeah. See, and that's what people tell me. Let's go. Let's do some cooking.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be like a cooking show and then like, here's a conversation.
Right.
I want that back.
Well, that is the way it started. And then just in an I don't know the right word. In an effort to get back to just the broadcast or the podcast, we started here.
No,
but we're not stuck here. We're going to evolve back to where we began. So I just want to let the people know that we're making that comment or asking that question. Yes, we hear you, we see you, and give us a minute.
It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, I need y'all to get back to the food because I've been in the kitchen coming up with some stuff.
You got some good stuff?
Oh man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Tricky.
Yeah. I'm here for it. I'm really focused on. So I'm working on a cookbook that I plan on putting out at the end of next year.
See, that's the thing. I couldn't do a cookbook.
It's stews, stocks, and soups, and it'll come with an herb pack. But like after Thanksgiving, I took all the bones and the carcasses from stuff, and I made stocks, and then from there, like I either froze some of it, or I used those bases to then make a stew.
Okay.
So I've really been into like, what is it like? Just like low waste, like really just using everything.
Yeah.
So when I'm chopping vegetables, I'm not throwing the trimmings away.
No, you throw that in the bag and
I'm
you make
throwing it out of my bag, and
some
I've got
vegetable stock out of that.
I've got fish skin, all kind of random things in the freezer right now that I'm just waiting to stew away. So.
All right, guy buys.
Review. Go leave reviews and comments. Let's keep this man going, okay? Let's keep.
See you guys later.